So the absolute best and most impressive feature of the new 18.2 update with Apple Intelligence has to be visual intelligence and how it's been implemented on our iPhone 16s. I've been absolutely impressed with everything that it's been able to do, what it sees, what questions you can ask it, what it can pull from the real world, and how it integrates into the entire native operating system. So in this video, what I want to do is walk you guys through how to use visual intelligence on your iPhone 16s, what some of the limitations are. We're going to take it out and test it in front of stores, we're going to test it in front of plants, and see exactly what you can get out of it and what the expectation is moving forward. And stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to use it on other Apple Intelligence devices like your 15 Pro, as well as something like your M1 iPad Pro or M4 iPad Pro, because technically those don't have visual intelligence, but there's a little bit of a workaround. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, Apple gave us visual intelligence with the 18.2 beta, and it's been one of the more impressive features that we've gotten with Apple Intelligence. And the first thing that I wanted to show off is that there's actually no settings in it. So even if you go into your Apple Intelligence section, there's no settings for it whatsoever. And also if you go into your camera control, because that's how you access it, and I'll show you exactly how to find that out, there's no actual access to it in terms of remapping it or doing anything with it. But in order to actually access visual intelligence, all you have to do is go to your camera control button. So if you long press it down here, you are now in visual intelligence, and this is what the UI looks like right here. So in its most basic form, what it's going to do is it's going to look at whatever objects you have, and I have a bunch of prompts here that we're going to take advantage of, and you're going to want to take the picture either with the button itself physically, or you can take the picture with that little button right there. But on the surface level, you have two options. Option number one is going to be a reverse Google search. So if you tap on here, this is going to be very simple. This has been around for forever in other devices. And all it's going to do is look for what you took a picture of and give you some Amazon links or how to find it, what it is. And then you're able to then interact with it, go to it. If I tap on here, it'll take me to Amazon to find this Lexar SSD. Option number two is going to be this Ask button, and the Ask button is going to upload this picture into ChatGPT, and then GPT is going to see exactly what's going on. It'll describe what's going on. So you can see right here, it says that this is a Lexar branded storage device, likely an external solid state drive used for data storage, etc., etc. So those are the two main options that no matter what you're doing will show up. You have the option to ask ChatGPT what it is, and it'll upload it directly into ChatGPT to then describe what it sees. And then secondly, it'll be the reverse Google search. So what's funny here is that even though this is visual intelligence made by Apple, it's still relying on not only Google, but it's also relying on ChatGPT, which I thought was something kind of funny. So the next example I want to show off is, as you can see, my iPad is here. I have a math problem, and if I go on here, you can actually use ChatGPT to problem solve something like this. So it'll take a picture of it, it'll look for it, and then you're going to press the Ask button, and it'll solve this for you. So it lets you know the expression displays a mathematical operation, 177 plus 14 times 27, and then it'll explain how it got the answer by following order of operations. So you first add the 177 and 14, and then you multiply that by 27 to get the 5157. And then if you want to keep going, you can actually type to ChatGPT, and then for instance, contextually, it'll figure it out, and I can now divide that by 4, which gives you a result of 1,289.25. So this can be extremely powerful depending on what you're going to be using this for. And the sky's the limit because this is based on ChatGPT and not really anything else. So it's going to go off to the internet to find all the answers that you need to find out. So I think this is going to be extremely powerful moving forward. And then of course, similar to all the live text stuff, we are able to then look at something like this, take a picture of it, and then it'll actually follow everything that it sees on here. So you not only have that it's highlighting MetLife, it's highlighting the 1 p.m., it's highlighting the date, and it's highlighting that little piece right there. So this is where you start to see some other options show up. So it does think that this is a phone number, which of course it's not, it's actually a date. But if you tap on here, this is going to start a calendar event for you. So it'll get you as close as you can, right? So it says 1 p.m., but obviously the date was completely wrong. And I do wish that maybe it could add a title, it could add some descriptors that I added before, but at least it gets you started in order to actually get this done to put it into your calendar. So that is something that has been around with live text, but now is fully integrated into ChatGPT and visual intelligence as well. And you can see this working in a multitude of different ways. Like taking pictures of posters like Apple showed off in its keynote, or maybe taking a picture of a chalkboard to write down some information for maybe an exam that's coming up. So it's always good to have something like this. And then same thing goes for contacts. So you can see right here, if I take a picture right here, it's gonna highlight this. And then I have a couple options here. So I have my name, which you can just hold down to select it, you can copy it, you'll see the ability to make that phone call, and then if we press on the 3 dots, we can make the phone call, but it's also picking up the information from below, and that's why you see the 1 p.m. right there. So, and then lastly, you always will have the option to ask ChatGPT, and then also search it with a reverse Google image search. So now let's see how far I can go with some other objects that I've actually picked up and selected. So this is a book by Jimmy Fallon. We'll tap on here, and it's going to highlight all the text. And what's cool about this is that you have some options here. So you have the ability to have it read it out loud, and then you also have the option to summarize it. So everything starts to work as it's intended, with the idea to make it as efficient as possible for you to consume the content or consume the data. So you can press read out loud.
#1 New York Times best-selling author, Jimmy Fallon.
So you get the idea here, and this is going to be very beneficial for maybe if you want to read a book out loud, but you are physically incapable of doing it. This is a great way to have that. Or maybe you're like myself, who can't really sit down and read and focus, but you need to have an audiobook playing. If you're trying to read a book, you can just take a picture of the pages and it'll read it out loud for you, which might get rid of the need for something like audiobooks moving forward. But then of course you can also search it, so we'll search for the actual book to see where I can buy it. You can ask what it sees as well. But now I took the picture again, and you have some other options as well. So you have the mackids.com because it's picking up on the URL. The 3 dots here should allow me to also summarize it. So we'll press this. It'll try to summarize it for me on top, and then you get an idea of what's being said in the book itself by getting the actual content and the context in a summarization. So I'm going to say again that the sky's the limit with this integration, and I've actually been loving it for so many different reasons. So a few more items in here that I wanted to take a picture of to see what ChatGPT gave me. So this is a card of an ID buzz. I'm going to ask what it sees here just to see what I test out. And you can see here that it actually got stung. So I actually cannot visualize what this is, which is kind of interesting. So again, we can follow the problem, or we can say, what do you see? To try again and see if it actually picks something up. So as you can see, it's not picking up what this is, so this is an example of it not working how it's supposed to. And now if I do this Dragon Ball Z character, let's see if it actually picks up what it is. It's gonna look at it, I'm gonna ask what it sees, and hopefully it pulls up something that's usable. So here it says the image features a can with a cartoon-style character inspired by a well-known anime series. This type of design is commonly used for promotional or themed drinks, often appealing to fans of the series. So it's not telling me that it is a Dragon Ball Z character, but it does know that it's from an anime series, and maybe it's doing that from an IP perspective because it doesn't want to step on any toes and it's being, a bit more broad, but it could also mean that it just doesn't know exactly what it is. Some other pieces that I wanted to show off was more so in the wild and taking pictures and visual intelligence images of some other objects. So for instance, in this example, you can see that I have my dog laying on the couch, and I pull up visual intelligence to see exactly what it's going to pull up. And this is where it starts to differentiate itself, or at least it's different from what the live text and all those intelligent lookups were before through the photos library. And again, they're probably going to end up combining this when it comes to 18.2, the public release, but for right now, it seems like they are separated. But again, I'll take a picture of Archie, who's my Shiba Inu, he's on the couch, and ChatGPT is able to describe what's going on, but it's not telling me what kind of dog he is. Versus if I go into my photos library or take a picture, then go to my photos library, then you press that little info button and it'll tell me and it'll recognize that it is a Shiba Inu through the photos application. So again, a little bit hit or miss sometimes depending on what information you want to know, and there were instances where ChatGPT did tell me what kind of dog he was. It was just in that situation when he was curled up like that, maybe it was a little too tough to see, but it seems as if the iPhone and the Photos application was able to figure out what it was. And then I wanted to test it out in the wild again, but more so in front of stores and things like that. So I went to my local coffee shop and took a picture or visual intelligence. I pulled it up right in front of it, and you can see that it gives me all the information that I need in terms of what it is, what I can get there, what the menu options are. And there are even some other examples of maybe going to a more well-known place like a Starbucks or maybe some other fast food place that already has online ordering set up. You can pull out visual intelligence, point it over there, and then you'll get a menu option as well as an order option through visual intelligence to then place an order right then and there. So overall, visual intelligence is going to be extremely beneficial to a lot of people. So now the last little tidbit that I wanted to bring up was how to use visual intelligence on a device that doesn't have a camera control button, because there are other pieces of hardware like the 15 Pro and Pro Max, as well as the iPad mini 7, which I have right here with the A17 Pro, and these support Apple Intelligence, but they don't have a physical camera control button to launch visual intelligence. Now, this isn't perfect, but there is somewhat of a workaround, and the way that you're going to do this is you're going to pull up any of these devices that can support Apple Intelligence, but not to have an actual camera control button, and we'll pull up the regular camera application, and then we'll go over here, we'll take a picture of what's going on, we'll go into our camera roll, now we're on the photo itself, and we're going to pull up Siri. What's on the screen? So as you can see here, we were actually able to pull up exactly what was on the screen by asking ChatGPT. It uploaded that image, and then it let you know exactly what was going on. Now, of course, you are missing that second half of visual intelligence of being able to do a reverse Google image search to find it on Amazon or for purchase or more information on the internet, but at least ChatGPT does give you some understanding of what it sees in that image, giving you this little bypass way to get visual intelligence on devices that don't have the actual camera control button. But that is everything that you should know for right now. Let's finish up the video. So as you saw, sky is the limit with visual intelligence. It's super accurate. The way that it integrates with ChatGPT is, again, very impressive with what it's able to distill and see by just uploading a photo to ChatGPT, and it's just been very easy to use, and it's something that I've seen myself using more and more on a day-to-day basis. At first, I thought I was going to use it just for demo purposes, to kind of show it off to people, but in the real world, I've been able to see store information, like when they open, when they close, being able to point out different things that maybe I'm not aware of, or of course, where to find something to purchase on Amazon after the fact. But that'll do it for this video, everybody. Let me know in the comment down below what you think. Are you able to use visual intelligence? Do you have an iPhone 16? Are you able to use visual intelligence with that kind of workaround way that I mentioned with something like an M4 iPad Pro or the brand new iPad Mini 7? Let me know in the comment down below what you think, if you're going to be using it, and if you're even updated on 18.2. But that'll do it, everybody. If you made it to this point in the video, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end of the video. And if you want to watch more videos like this one, definitely check out one of these two videos right here. YouTube thinks you're going to like the one up top, and I think you're going to like the one on the bottom. But that'll do it, everybody. Peace.